programs.
And they actually bring back the message of recovery and what they're doing in the community to the guys inside.
And support of where they can get help after that they actually.
That is so unusual. That's exciting. And how does the security staff, what kind of feedback do you get from them about working in this kind of environment?
They thoroughly enjoy it. They think it runs very well. There are no problems. If there is a disagreement between the people in the community, they handle it amongst themselves first. The staff absolutely love it.
So there's a chain of command within the inmates themselves before they even come to security. And
Normally, yes.
And it's handled, the problems are handled there. But security's always aware of what's going on. So there's no surprises.
No, there's good open communication the whole time.
Okay, we're talking with Captain Lebrano, is that correct?
That's right.
And he's in charge of security at Henrico County Regional Jail East. And we're here to talk about the program that's changing the culture of incarceration that we've been talking about, which is a modified therapy community, and it incorporates Alcoholics Anonymous and a number of other videos and programs and educational components that help inmates helping inmates. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be in security. I understand you were the tough guy. You didn't believe in this program. You thought you should just lock them up and throw away the keys, and this was a bunch of touchy-feely stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the one that coined the phrase touchy-feely pod when this first started. I didn't support it at all. I thought it was a waste of time and was going to cost a lot of money to operate.
What changed?
Well, being here, running security here, these are the best run pods. They are the most orderly run pods. They are the pods with the least amount of trouble. They are the cleanest pods. We have virtually no problem in there whatsoever. So
you're not writing them up for touching or playing the con game on everyone, or the normal things that happen in a facility. You're not having to do those normal write-ups.
We write very few internal charges on inmates that are in these programs. Very, very few. It's usually handled by themselves, better than we can handle.
They actually monitor each other?
They monitor each other.
And they have consequences for the things that happen in the prison?
They do.
Give me a consequence.
Well, they might have to meet with the senior members will meet with the offender. They may have to wash windows or keep the bathroom clean or read something and do a report on. There's all kind of things that they have them do.
Wow.
That works much better than us taking canteen away from them.
I was going to say, pretty much what did you have to use in terms of consequences prior to this kind of a pod?
Well, we have the special housing unit. This is a SHU.
Right.
And
a lockdown.
That's a lockdown situation. Can be pretty harsh for some minor violations, and if they can take care of them so they don't escalate, you know, it keeps them out of there. That's a better job.
Yeah, it gives you more options, it sounds like, too, in terms of security. You don't have to go right to lockdown, which is usually the most secure and the one that's probably the most costly, because you've got somebody locked in and they have to be taken care of totally.
Totally.
And that definitely is much more costly. So in the long run, this is costing you less if they can monitor themselves till before it escalates to that level.
Yeah, we can have one deputy watching that large group. They use him for advice and the daily routines that they have to do, but very few times does he have to, you know, step in and take any kind of charge. They do it all themselves.
So it's been an education for your deputies, too.
It has.
And they've had to learn a little bit about the 12-step program. They've had to learn a little bit about the other programs that they provide through videos, and they had to learn about the circle and that kind of inmate sharing with inmate without them getting involved. So it must be quite an opportunity for them to do some education of their own.
It is. It has been for them, it has been for me. I've sat in and watched the group meetings and listened and participated a couple times answering questions, and you know, it's been real well received by the deputies here, and we keep the same deputies, try to most of the time. The inmates become familiar with them, more comfortable to talk to them, so it's done real well.
Well, you know, the standard operating procedure is if the inmate gets too familiar with security, that they're going to pull one over on them. I mean, that's usually what the concern is. Is that something that you find out happening?
I imagine they can, but with so much involvement by the inmates themselves and self-governing, it doesn't really give them that opportunity to do that. And the familiarization, we haven't had that problem here with that at all. In fact, it's just pretty much the opposite of that.
Well, and wouldn't that be a concern? I mean, I think that would be one of the concerns you would have with security, is
Sure.
that kind of, involvements between inmate and security. But you're actually not having
We're
that,
not having that at all. But yes, it was a concern in the beginning, sure.
especially with a touchy-feely program.
That's right.
Well, it sounds like it's actually helping you guys do your job better.
It does. It does. Frees us up to take care of other things. It's been, Pat, as I hate to admit it, it's one of the best things that's come along. It really has made a big difference.
Wow, so you've gone from the biggest opponent to it to probably one of the biggest salesmen for it.
Sure.
This is exciting. It would be wonderful if we could change the fact that people have to come here. Captain, I made a misstatement. We really can't change anybody, can we?
No, we can't.
They have to want to change, and they have to change themselves. And what a great opportunity to provide them with an environment in which they can do that.
And they work hard at it.
And thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Wayne, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come by and share with us for a couple minutes of how Back to Basics has affected you in terms of being able to maintain the stability and of the prison environment. What have you seen in your exposure to this portion of the program?
Well, I've been a strong supporter of the therapy program here at the Henrico jail. When I started with Sheriff Wade, I was on the night shift, and then just after a few weeks, I was informed that they were going to start a therapy program. I wonder would I be interested. And so I'm the senior man in that deputy, as far as the deputy is concerned. I was one of the original deputies that started in it. We just had one pod. I think we had 18 guys.
In terms of the pilot program, did you see any difference between the therapy pod versus the rest of the population?
Oh yeah, a lot of difference in them. They were more disciplined, better. Their manners, they treat us, me. I've always been treated like gold. The inmates have always been very respectful to me. I've never had a problem. I think one of the biggest hurdles we had to go over in the beginning, we had so many people that didn't believe in the program. And that was from a lot of people at the top.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is new, this is revolutionary.
And we had deputies that were very skeptical of it. And everywhere we went, they were trying to blindside us with something that wasn't going to work. And we had to really fight to keep, try to keep it going. But they were doing everything they could to try to railroad it. In fact, I was at the academy this past spring, and the deputy that was assigned to the program, he got up and made some comment about the mental health program. And they had this, they've got the TVs, they've got the videos. He was just making fun of them, I had to get up and say what I thought. He shut up, he didn't say no more. Because he didn't work the program but one night, they never put it back in. It's pretty good, I thought. But no, I'm very proud of the program. We've got some good publicity. I would like to think that if I would become sheriff again, that we could get something in that jail, even though it's small jail.
Well, we're willing to take it anywhere, anytime.
And,
Well, thank you. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate the encouragement, the support, and we continue to witness things that we've never seen in the correctional setting before.
I worked 36 years in police work, and this 3.5 with Henrico has been an experience because I'm seeing the other side. Used to be I just put him in jail. I didn't see the after effects, and now I never see that side of it. And
Now we're seeing some positive
it's
outcomes.
been an experience for me too. It's learning for me. I like it.
And what have you done to give back to the community here? Did you ever lead meetings or facilitate the program?
Yes, sir. I was one of the facilitators for Back to Basics here
Oh,
for quite some
okay.
time. And I was afforded an opportunity to go back up to Jail West and be a part of creating a new program up there as well. which,
So you're a Back to
hey,
Basics pioneer.
Yes, sir.
You have pioneer status
Exactly,
now. Oh, all
exactly.
right.
And I would like to say that, even out there now, I had an opportunity to, we're gonna create a meeting place for alumnus.
I'm hearing that.
And,
An
we got
alumnus
that.
gathering,
Yes, sir.
again, so that you can continue to grow together
Yes, sir.
and help others.
Right, absolutely. And we're gonna incorporate Back to Basics, I know that about it, the 12-step process. That's where it is, that's where the freedom is.
Yes. Freedom from bondage. Freedom from the slavery of not only drugs and alcohol, but the slavery of that negative thinking.
Yes.
But what a stepping stone, what a strong foundation to carry into the community, and not have to go either back to the streets or back to the old way of life. You're looking good.
Thank you, sir.
You're radiating a glow that I'm sure wasn't there when you first
Absolutely.
arrived.
Absolutely. I feel like a new person. I really
Oh, you look like a new person.
do. Thank you.
And thank you for being part of the solution.
Well, thank you, sir.
It's really good. Rogers told me that you were coming because I wanted to meet you and thank you for all the work that you've done.
Well,
You're giving back. It's really helped me a lot.
I'm just the messenger carrying a message that was given to me by over 100 old-timers that got sober in the 1940s, and it's what they did, and the sheer simplicity of it. And you've been doing this for quite some time, from 1999?
A little bit of time, yeah.
Okay.
Not a whole lot, but since '99.
One day at a time.
Right.
And you talked about having a meeting outside of the facility.
Right.
And which meeting is this?
Well, it's a Thursday night meeting, and we carry the meeting on like a format of Back to Basics. Just
I am
like-
familiar with that
Right.
Thursday night meeting.
Well, actually, this is a different one. The one that
Oh,
you're probably
okay.
thinking of is in the West End.
Yes.
This one's in the East End.
Oh, there's more.
Right.
See, that's the beautiful thing, is that after
It
going through the
grows.
program here, and it grows, yes, that
Right.
you have a support group outside of the walls.
Right. That's what it's all about, carrying the message.
And you say that it kind of looks like it's working.
It is working.
It sure does.
I gotta work it though.
Yeah. But to be outside of the this system for 4 years and be bringing it back on a regular basis, I mean, that is the heart and soul of what Dr. Bob and Bill put together.
Yes, thank God for
Yeah.
them two getting together.
And us getting together right here, because it is.
Still going.
The 10-dayers helping the 5-dayers, and the 5-dayers helping the 1-dayers.
Right.
And even somebody with 1 day can help the person just walking in the door.
They help me all the time.
Yeah. Thank you, Darren, for giving it back.
No problem.
That's what is so, so
That's
important.
what keeps me sane. That's what saves my life on a regular basis.
And this is what I needed to see in order to help with my spiritual journey.
You're right. A little confirmation.
Yeah. Any part of Back to Basics that, in particular, has been monumental to you, or a turning point, or something that provided a new insight?
Oh, don't get me started on the Back to Basics thing. All the facets. I mean, just the fact that Back to Basics puts the big book in a format where I could have understood it. I understood it the way that it was put. The 4-step inventory, the way that it was laid out, was very self-explanatory, and it really helped me out. And getting through that process, and the listening to God, how to listen to God pamphlet, was explicit instructions on how to get in contact with God.
That's what really changed my life, too, was that pamphlet.
And to understand that it's just an ongoing process, and that we practice progress.
And how about this listening to God? Is that
Oh,
affected you at all?
yeah, well, the two-way prayer is very important. You know, it's not only a means of, just what's on your mind when you wake up in the morning and talk to God, and sharing that, write it down and sharing it with someone. I think that's important also. It's a communication piece with a person that's easy to adhere to. And so that's important to me also.
And me too. I never really understood that 11th step until
Yeah.
I read the How to Listen to God pamphlet. It really changed my life.
now, Janice, I'm gonna tell you myself, we do a lot of two-way prayer because,
Is your sharing partner?
yeah, that's my sharing, that's one of
Yeah.
my sharing partners.
Yeah.
I have about 9.
There we go.
I have about 9.
You can't have enough sharing
Yeah,
partners,
I
yes.
have about 9, and we found that we became closer and more committed to, doing something about our life because of that two-way prayer, and how to listen to God, that's extremely important.
Well, that power beyond human power, no matter what name you want to give this power,
Yeah, that's right.
certainly has a better plan for each and every one of our lives than we do ourselves.
That's right. But it's
Yeah, but
it
you're
works
the
out great for
baby
me.
with a mission.
Yeah, I'm the baby with a mission. Yeah, I'm the baby with a mission, and I enjoy it.
Because we all have to see the miracles.
I enjoy it. I think it brought me and my family with communication, back together as it should be, because there was a communication gap where they used to look under-eyed and side-eyed every time I walk in and out of my door. But now that I share what I have learned with them, we've learned to communicate with each other and just, have true love. And
Brings
I'm
families
accepted
back
again.
together.
Yeah, I'm accepted again with my family, so that's another
That's
great
another
thing to have.
major
Right.
benefit,
Right.
is to be able to repair the wreckage of the past, especially with the family.
Especially with the
Yeah.
family, right?
And it's so good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
And
How's
it's good to
Mr.
see you
how's
wearing
Mr.
street
James?
civilian clothes.
How's Mr. James Hospital?
Mr. James is well. We were just with him yesterday.
I love him.
Oh,
Tell him
he
I
wants
love
to be
him.
remembered to each and every one of you.
Tell him I love him, and I just look at every time I look at his signature in my big
Oh.
book. Tell him I just grin. Tell him I just grin because I just want to thank him.
You
for
have.
what they started.
You have, by staying clean, by staying sober, and helping the next one.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm trying to do.
You're doing well, my friend. You're
All
doing
right.
well.
Thank you so much.
All right.